Alright, hello, welcome everybody. My name is Min Kim. Today we're going to be starting a brand new web series of videos and tutorials on how to get your various devices to communicate with each other through a SDK called AllJoyn. Today's specific session is going to be setting up an Arduino Yun to work with AllJoynJS. The actual coding portion will be in a future video, but this one's just going to be specifically on how to get that device ready to do some AllJoyning. Alrighty, so the agenda of this video is we're just going to go over the tools that you're going to need, and then we'll go through the setup steps. So let's start with the tools. So first you're going to need that Arduino Yun. Arduino Yun. Then you're going to need a micro USB cable. You'll also need a LAN cable. And then you're also going to need access to a network switch or a router. You can't actually directly connect it from your computer to the Yun for one of the steps. Finally, I really recommend having a micro SD card. You don't need it, but I have made so many mistakes with this, and basically when you have to reset the Yun, it allows you to basically save some files on there and not have to start again from square one. So it's helpful, but not necessary, but I would recommend it. Alright. For software, I've definitely demonstrated this on Windows 8.1 and 10. You can absolutely do this with other platforms, I'm certain of it. You just need to find out which software is going to be needed. But again, these videos will be for Windows developers. You'll need an open source software called OpenTFTP. You'll need a SSHing tool called PuTTY, and also you'll need the Arduino software IDE. Okay, so let's get to action. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to, so all of this software that I've mentioned before, I will have links on the actual video as well as on the website where I'll have a lot of this information documented. And then also, just for note, I have installed a lot of this software already on my PC, and I'm not going to go through the installation steps of the software. And then I'll just go over the configuration of OpenTFTP, just a really brief thing. So let's start with there. After OpenTFTP is installed, you're going to find a OpenTFTP server mt.ini file, and you got to dig for wherever you installed it. It doesn't actually install a program file, so you get to kind of just pick and choose. It might. Anyways, so when you actually look at this config file, you'll notice that there's a bunch of sections, and you'll see some lines that has a single quote in front of the line, and it has comments as well as single quotes. So the misleading part is that basically, whether it's single quotes or the little pound, both of them technically don't do anything. Now what you'll see is under home section, I have it as path to this folder that's on my local machine. And that's important for configuring it, because the way OpenTFTP works is it's very loose per se. There's no authentication. So it's just, you get to a specific thing and just have a file there. Really meant for just like internal networks and stuff like that, just to make things easy for you. And I guess the Yun to download it and access it. Okay, great. So after OpenTFTP, we're going to start configuring the Yun. Okay, I've got a list of files that you're going to have to download. So the first thing that we're going to download is the generic Lenino boot bin file. Okay, and I'll have that documented. So let's just hypothetically say that it was downloaded and put into that dmin tftp share folder. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that it's in there for the sake of this demo. And let me check. So I've got it in dmin tools tftp. I'm in the wrong file. I'm in E. Let me just. All right. Okay. You guys probably want to see what I'm looking at. Alrighty, so now I'm just going through daemon tools. Here's my TFTP server location, and then under share, and this is the bin file that I'm going to have. Again, you're going to get access to the link on it. Alright, so I've confirmed that it's in there. That looks great. You will have to go into your Windows Services menu and manually start it, as it doesn't actually spin off on its own. So let me just confirm that the thing will start. Computer management. So you guys can see where I'm going. I just basically open up computer management. and then I go to services, boop, and then open TFTP, and then I would start this guy. Fantastic. Boom, he started. Okay, great. So now that that's started, I'll have anything on the local network will have access to the file. Okay. Next step is now we're going to want to connect our Yun to the USB cable. So I'm going to go ahead and connect these bad boys up and attach it to my computer. Boop. Alright. And once I do that, your Yun will start cranking on. You'll see some LEDs. It's going to take a few seconds. I'll try to edit the video to make sure that you're not sitting there spinning too many cycles watching me wait for this thing to boot. But maybe I will, and then you'll just have to fast forward this video. Okay. So once it's connected, you're going to want to open up your Arduino IDE, the sketch tool, and in it you can change your board here, and you want to switch it to Arduino Yun, and then when you get a port, you'll see the port that it's on. Now right now it says COM5. Once it boots up, it'll give you an actual IP address, and that's what we're going to actually wait for the very beginning. Alright, let's see. Sometimes you just kind of have to click tools again, wait till you see the actual thing. Oh, you know what? It's not going to actually report IP until I connect the LAN cable too, so I'm going to go ahead and connect the LAN cable. Boop, alright. Of course it won't. Alright. So now I'm going to wait a few more seconds for it to acquire an IP address. Okay, it looks like things are lighting up. Board, bam. So we have an IP address. And all of you hackers are going to spin away at 10.0.0.163, right? No? Maybe? Kind of? Okay, whatever. Alrighty, so now we're going to open up PuTTY, and we're going to connect to 10.0.163 now. So I was able to find out the IP address again by going to Tools, Port, and finding that IP address right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and go 10.0.0.163, fantastico, open. PuTTY then opens a window. I am going to refresh it for you guys. Let's see. Boop, boop. Let me resize. Okay. Login as root. Alrighty. And now we have our standard OpenWRT stock version of Linux that comes with it. Great. But we want to upgrade. So now I'm going to go to the actual folder of the SD card. And then with it, I'm going to do a wget command to download some stuff. So I'm going to first download. So I'm going to make a folder called build or something like that, or Linux upgrade, or sure. Alright. And then I'm going to do the wget. Bam, we get the first file, and I pasted that. And it's got a 1 on there, so now I've got to delete that. Boom, okay. So we'll wait as it downloads. Oof, that's slow. 2 minutes. I'm definitely going to edit this file for you. Okay, so we're back. I actually had to switch SD cards because something funky happened with the other one, and then the second time I downloaded it was significantly faster. But we got the first file. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and grab the second file. And again, all of this will be available on the site for you guys to download. Alright. And as it's downloading, I'm going to prepare the next command. Now, I am going to go ahead and... no, not this command. This will be fine. Alright. So, we're just going to wait for this to download. Am I downloading the same file? No. The first one is the... generic Linino doobie. Alright. Oops. Let's confirm. Right, so we've got 2 different files. Alright, well we're going to commence regardless just because it works. So yeah. We're going to run sysupgrade/v, and then we're going to start with the OpenWRT blah 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 blah. Fantastic. It's gonna do some stuff. It's gonna reboot the thing, the Yun. All right, now once it reboots, it's going to then go off into COM mode. We're going to have to do some stuff in COM mode. So now if we go back to the Arduino IDE, we'll see which COM port it's actually registered to. And what we're going to actually try to do is hit it before the actual Linux OS boots up, because we're going to do some magic there. So let's go and open up a brand new putty. Bloop, bloop. All right, and instead of choosing the IP, we're going to choose the COM port. Fantastic. So let's open it. Alrighty. And so I've got my COM, and we still don't see anything. And that's probably because it's still doing something on the other one. And so we'll just go ahead and just rearrange it so we can kind of see stuff happening. So cool. So now it's rebooting the system. It says there's an error fixing up the TRX header. Don't recall if I've seen that error before, but we're just going to roll with it. It's rebooting. It's happening. Okay, and so while it reboots, we still see nothing in the COM. Alright, so we got an IP again. Let's go hit that IP address. As we log in, we see that it's now Arduino as opposed to the previous OS. Now, we still didn't see the COM, and when that happens, it's because the Sketch app that might have been pre-uploaded is not really doing a serial dump output. So we're going to go ahead and upload a new app, and the way that you do that is you're going to click on File, and you're going to go to Examples, you're going to go to Bridge, and you're going to go to Yun Serial Terminal. And in the Yun Serial Terminal, once we load it, it opens up a brand new sketch window for us. We're just going to go ahead and select the, it's already selected COM, and then we're just going to go ahead and do Upload. Magic will happen. Once it completes, hopefully we should see the actual serial output of the Arduino. So let's see. Let's see if we can get the status of what's going on here. Oh, it's busy. Let's do it actually from the IP then, instead of from the COM and upload. Already asking for password. I've already changed the stock password from the Arduino to the other one. Alright, so now it's flashing. Looking good so far. Oh, and it's killed the COM one. Oh well, we lost it anyways. Okay, so now that it's done it, it's finished it. Let's go back to port. We see that it's now COM6 instead of COM5. Well, what to do? It changes like all the time on usage. That's why the tool is so important to find out. All right, so I'm going to open up COM6. Fantastic. All right, and we still don't see anything naturally. But if we type reboot on the IP address, not the COM, but the IP address, we will start seeing stuff on the other windows. So I'm going to press key to stop the auto boot. That was slightly confusing. I rebooted from the Linux on the IP, but the COM started dumping out. And this is exactly where we want to be now. Great. So now that we're here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap these guys around so that you can have a better view of what's going on. All right. Now, this is the part where it's going to actually download the stuff from that open TFTP server, so it's super important that it's there. Yet still, things aren't broken. Things are still in a salvageable state, so this is not the ultra careful stuff. All right. So what you want to do now that you stop the auto boot, and again, if you don't stop the auto boot, just reboot the Yun again, and then once you get to this section which says hit any key to stop auto boot, hit a key in the COM session. Alright. Now, we're going to want to actually use the FTP to download. So to do that, we need to first acquire the IP address of your machine. So I'm going to open up a command prompt, and I'm going to type the ipconfig, and we will see boop, 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 my IP address right here. Fantastic. And we'll just run a few commands so that it knows who's whose. We're going to set server IP to 10.0.0.153. Then I'm going to do set env IP address, and I'm going to use the IP address that it was acquiring from the DHCP lease before. So I'm going to do that. Now after that, I'm going to go ahead and ping 153, and ta-da! That's great. All right. So now here's the next part. Now I'm going to actually copy and paste these next commands in, only because the addresses, I believe, are very specific, and I do not wish to break it. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Notepad, and I recommend you guys do this too from your actual steps of when you're actually performing this. So I'm going to copy the first command of TFTP, the address, and then the file that we're going to download. And if everything goes well, this will just work. So I'm going to paste it, hit enter, bam, transferred, fantastico. Okay, now the next thing is, the next line, I'm going to copy in the next line, so I'm going to erase. Alright, again, it's doing an erase with some sort of address and some other magic address, so again, I recommend that you just make sure that it's incredibly accurate before you type this. And paste it, hit enter, doing some erasing, some scary messages, so hopefully, again, everything worked correctly. And then the last message. Alrighty. Now I'm going to copy it, paste it into my handy notepad, and you'll see that I have like a dollar file address and a dollar file size. There's magic, and it just knows what that means. So again, I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in there, and it says done. Now if any of these commands fail, I really recommend going back and looking at those steps one more time, typing it in correctly. Hopefully not messing it up. But if everything looks good and it says done, there's no errors, now you can go ahead and reset the Yun. Alright. Okay, so we're at this point where we see some gibberish on the screen. We're kind of freaking out because we don't know what's going on. And then sometimes it might come back. So here's the best way to do it. Now on your keyboard, you're going to press ~1, and yeah, your screen's going to go to gibberish, but what's happening is in the pre-bootloader, the baud rate is set to a certain rate, but then once it goes to the post-bootloader, it goes to another one. So now that it's at the speed of ~1, we hit reset, and we see that we can read it, and it says auto boot and stop with lin. So I'm going to type lin, boom, now we're back to the place where we want to be. Okay. Great, so now we're going to run a few more commands, and this one again I'm just going to copy and paste because it's just so prone to error. Pop it back into the notepad. Again, this command will be on the site. Then I'm going to paste it in there. I'm never going to remember this command. Just saying. Okay, next thing you're going to do set in baud rate 250. So now, the reason we're doing this is because actually when the thing originally boots up, the baud rate is at like the 115320, or I forget what the number is, but it's basically at a baud rate that's slower than the 250,000. Okay, so it's slower at the 250,000, so that's why we see the gibberish in the first screen, then it goes in the normal characters, but then when you switch the mode, you can see it. So we're going to try to set the default baud rate to 250,000. Alright, so when we do it, it's going to say switch baud rate to 250,000 and hit enter. So we'll do the ~2, it says set speed, hit enter, and we're back to normal. Alright, so we are now going to reset again. Now I didn't actually hit save environment, so we're going to have to do that one more time. ~1, reboot, LIN to stop, grab that command, paste it, set env baud array 250,000, tilde 2, enter, save env, enter. Alright, now we're finally done. Now we reset non-gibberish here, and then when it goes into the Linux, non-gibberish. Fantastic. Okay, now the last thing, once it actually boots in, we're going to go ahead and get an IP address again. So we'll go ahead and minimize Notepad. Let's go wait for the IP. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same exact 163. Modern is root. Boom, type in the password. So now we have that other image in the bin folder that we downloaded, the one that's just Linino IO generic. And we are going to run sys upgrade Linino IO blah 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 blah. Bam. Alright. So I'll do more magic, kill the system. Again, we can kind of just see what's happening in the reboots on the COM, so we'll do that. Make some coffee, go enjoy yourself for a little bit. I'll edit the film to come right back to this. Okay, so we just successfully rebooted, and I'm going to connect back to the Yun. Once we do login, we're going to run a command called opkj update, which is list of packages available, and then we're going to opkg list ag AllJoyn bin core library. Alright. Cool. And we're going to see a list of AllJoyn libraries. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an opkg install on agtcl AllJoynJS, and it's going to go ahead and grab all the dependencies for us. And the cool thing is, this is the latest version. The wiki and the documentation actually points out the specific versions of it, but it's actually wrong because the versions have updated. So this is the easy way to do it. Okay, so now that the AllJoynJS is installed, just to make sure when you guys want to start using scripts, if you're gonna start playing with this before I actually create the next video and you want to be able to use the IO stuff, the next most important thing is this script. So if you type usr bin linino IO start. Alright. And it's going to prompt you that when you want to do this, make sure that you're connected by means of SSH. So not any way that could be disconnected, because you want to make sure that this connection is going to be persisted while it's doing this function. So I'm going to say yes, I am. Do you want to enable the Linino IO OS features? And I say yes. And then we're going to see something very similar to when you upload a sketch, because it's basically doing some magic there. Not sure what the internals are exactly, but anyways, it's doing some magic. Now, once this script is run, you can create the JavaScript, the AllJoyn JavaScript scripts, to be a little bit redundant, that will actually access your IOs and everything else that is available on the Arduino Yun. You can still go ahead and upload a sketch to your Arduino, and if you do upload a sketch to your Arduino, it's actually going to disable the feature on, disable the IOs from being usable in your AllJoyn scripts. So if you want to use those AllJoynJS scripts again, you're going to have to run that the user bin linino IO start again. And now final thing is rebooting. And that's basically it, guys. I know it's come close. I know you guys might want to see a demo of running an AllJoynJS script, and I will have one in the next video. We're going to create one together, along with pairing with the Android app. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all the kind words and encouragement from the community. I really hope you guys find this video useful, and if you like what you see, please thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, yada yada, and then otherwise keep on coding on.